What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? I'm the Godless engineer, and I critically analyze apologist claims to give you the best arguments and information so that you can stand up and use your voice. I don't know why you're changing this to belt. I'm asking you if you would pick up a rod.
Because times are different, right? Is pick up something to use in a disciplinary manner.
Okay. Fine. Would you take a belt?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, you would beat your children with a belt.
I would discipline them with a belt.
Okay, what's the difference between beating and disciplining? Wow, this guy seems rather unhinged. This clip today is coming from one of my TikTok lives. If you would like to follow me on TikTok, I'm going to have both my main account and my backup account linked down in the description. Today's clip from one of my TikTok lives centers around this idea that Christian morals do more harm than good. And this caller, Aharon, decided to come up and challenge me on this idea. I will have a special guest join me for a brief second in the middle of this discussion, but for the most part, I'm just directly interacting with Aharon on this topic. And boy, do we get into a lot of different areas of discussion. We talk about chattel slavery, but we end up rooting out Aharon as a child abuser. So today I'm gonna fuck around and find out why this guy thinks that it's okay to abuse his child with the Bible. If you'd like to find out with me, then please stay tuned. So we got one more person, Aharon Angel. So sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Hey there, is it Aharon?
That'll work.
Okay. How old are you?
I was born in '88. 37.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I forget sometimes.
All right. Yeah, no, that's when my sister was born. And then what are your pronouns?
Professional.
That's not a pronoun. Typically, pronouns are he, him, she, her, they, them. So which one would you more align with?
What are non-typical?
Non-typical. So they, them.
What about I?
I mean, I is a pronoun, but I'm not like that. That makes it totally incomprehensible for people to talk about you in the chat and also later on YouTube.
Well, they can refer to him as Aharon.
Oh, it's Aharon. Okay.
Yeah. You say you was taking Hebrew. I thought you might know that.
Well, no, your name's not written in Hebrew, so I mean, yeah. Anyways,
it's the anglicized version of Aharon, who's Moses' brother.
Right. I mean, I understand that, but like that, I don't recognize the way that you've spelled it on there as being Aharon. But in any case, so we're gonna go with he, him. Since that's I don't want to make this a big thing. So what would you like to discuss?
So it says Christian morals do more harm than good. And so I'm wondering, what is your perspective, or what do you think Christian morals are? Like, if you could just list a few of those morals.
Well, so typically what Christians appeal to is like, the 10 Commandments are usually pretty integral to Christian ethics and moral understanding. Exodus 20:17, the 10th commandment is lists women as property and also lists slaves. So I think that the Christian morality, as it's been understood for the majority of Christian history, is rather deplorable and is a net negative, because not only does it deprive women of equality, but it deprives them of bodily autonomy. Also, if you wanted something more distinctly Christian, you could go with the doctrine of hell. I think that is a net negative on our society, and it's detrimental and abusive to teach that to children.
So you said the 10th commandment?
Yep.
So you listed 1 out of 10, and then you listed
as an example, like,
yeah, right. So out of the 10, which other one could be doing more harm than good?
I mean, I feel like I don't know why I've got to reference like another one.
Well, because you're when I scrolled and I saw Christian morals do more harm than good,
right?
Then you have to be able to speak to the morals that are doing the harm. So you
did
one specific out of the 10 that you find harmful. We can get into that later. Secondly, you said the concept of hell is that is hell a moral thing, or do you reach the concept of hell based on the morality, right?
No, I mean the
So
concept of hell is
it's
taught
not a
by
moral,
Christians.
but it's not a
I,
moral.
I mean it concerns morals, does it not?
It does concern morals, but it's not amoral. So all I'm saying is that I'm not you may have a disagreement and you could potentially try to
It
argue
factors
with me,
in. It definitely
but
factors in.
reading what your little graphic says, you don't have a lot to stand on so far.
No, I have everything to stand on. I listed
So
Exodus. I listed Exodus 2017, which lists women as property. That's a pretty big one.
but
Lists also slaves. It also lists slaves as being a thing that's normalized and that you can keep slaves and that you shouldn't covet your neighbor's slaves as well as your neighbor's other property, including women. You could also go to the command. I can't remember what number it is, but what
does it say that you should take slaves?
Jesus in his affirming of the Old Testament law does affirm that you can take slaves.
Where? And where in the Old
Leviticus
Testament?
Leviticus 25:44 through 46.
What does it say about slaves? Does it say take slaves, or does it say how to behave or treat slaves?
No, it says that you may acquire slaves from the nations around you.
In what context does it mean slaves?
Property that you can bequeath to your like your children.
So you would liken it to chattel slavery?
It by definition is chattel slavery.
I disagree with that.
How? I mean, how?
So
Do you have a Bible that you can get to?
yeah, I can get to one right now.
Okay. Then Leviticus, let's turn in our Bible. Leviticus 25:44 through 46.
All right, Exodus, Leviticus 14, 23, 26, 25. What number again?
44 through 46.
However, you may purchase male and female slaves from among the nations around you. You may also purchase the children of temporary residents who live among you, including those who have been born into your land. You may treat them as your property, passing them on to your children as permanent inheritance. You may treat them as slaves, but you must never treat your fellow Israelites this way.
Right. There you go. Chattel
So
slavery.
what goes on in Leviticus 24?
I don't see how that has any bearing here.
It's because its context is always important. You can't cherry pick things from the Bible
I'm
or
not
any.
cherry picking anything. I mean, you can
Yes,
read
yes.
the rest of Leviticus. I mean, this is
Well, what
laying
about
down the Levitical law.
well, let's not go to the rest of it. Let's go to what's going on before it.
I don't see how whatever happens in 24 is going to affect what the commandment here is in 44 through 46.
The fact of the matter is that times were different then than they are now. Right or wrong?
So God is context dependent. He's limited.
But everything's context dependent.
So God is limited.
I don't understand the question.
My question is that if God had no ability or no if God couldn't tell the Israelites not to own slaves because they wouldn't accept it, then it seems like God is limited in his ability to control his people.
Well, no, because these are words, and words have different meanings to different people, right? Even if you go to a dictionary, you can pull up 4 different definitions for one word.
I'm sorry, I don't know how this applies to my argument.
I don't think you choose to know how it applies to your argument.
No, I'm saying you're not making sense. This seems like a non sequitur is what I'm
Let
saying.
me ask you this. Where did you find these particular, this chapter and verse?
I read the Bible.
What was going on before that in the previous chapters?
I mean, what I'm telling you is that whatever happened in the previous chapters is not going to affect this commandment given by God. How could is there any context? Let me ask you this. Is there any context in which taking a person as a slave so that you can treat them as your property and you can pass them down to your children, what context would make that okay?
Before I answer that, I want to ask you this. What about modern day slavery?
I disagree with slavery in general, but I don't see how modern day slavery has any effect on what I'm criticizing the Bible for here.
Because it's context, right? So I forget which amendment. It's not the 13th. Which amendment it is that allows the U.S. government to take slaves?
Well, yeah. So for that particular one, I do agree that we need prison reform. We also need to update our constitution with something that's a bit more humanistic in nature. And so I do disagree with all of those things. So I mean, I definitely disagree with those. I think that it was probably in some way kind of inspired by Christianity, because all of the slave laws that were written in the South and in the United States in general before 1865 were inspired by the Bible.
Well, I don't know why you would say that. You may have some type of contextual evidence or maybe some factual evidence. I can't.
It's definitely factual, because if you read the laws that are written and then you read the verses that inspired them, they are essentially nearly 1-to-1 in their meaning.
So how does the separation of church and state play into the way that the laws are written?
Well, the separation of church and state is definitely antithetical to Christianity, but that's a product of the founders of the United States, the ones that wrote the Constitution. That would be different than what we're talking about here with slavery.
So the ones that wrote the Constitution were Christian?
I think most of them were probably deistic. There were probably some Christians, but they wrote the Constitution to be antithetical to the Bible.
So if they're deistic, why would they write it that way?
Well, so the laws I'm talking about with slavery are going to be state laws. So those are definitely going to be written by somebody other than the founders. For one. For two, there are multiple state constitutions that do reference.
It's the constitutional amendment.
What?
It's a constitutional amendment that I'm.
Oh, you're talking about the 13th Amendment. Okay, well, we're getting our signals crossed here, because I'm talking about the slave laws that were on the books in each individual state. Those were inspired by the Bible. And I did mention that the 13th was probably inspired by some kind of understanding with the Bible, but that's just because slavery was normalized at that particular time. And so it was seen as normal to hold somebody against their will in the way that the 13th Amendment sort of characterizes it. But I mean, I think that that's a product of the normalization of slavery at that particular point in time.
Would you consider prisoners of war slaves?
If you're keeping the prisoners and you're benefiting from their work, and they're not benefiting, like they're not being paid or compensated in any kind of way, then yes, that they would be considered slaves.
Perhaps it's the same thing.
What
does it say anywhere that you should treat them badly?
Well, I mean, in the Old Testament, it does give you rules for how you can treat your slaves. And like in one particular respect, you can beat them within an inch of their life as long as they don't die within 3 days.
And why would you do that?
Why would you beat them within an inch of their life? That goes back to the spoil the rod, spoil the child kind of concept. It extended to how slaves were to be treated.
Is spoil the rod, spoil the child in the Bible?
Yes.
Where is it?
Let's see. I don't have that verse memorized, but let's see. Bible verse: spare the rod, spoil the child. That's Proverbs 13:24. Whoever spares the rod hates their children, but the one who loves their children is careful to discipline them with apparently a rod.
Do you believe in that?
What do you mean, do I believe in that? I don't hit my child.
So you don't believe that spare the rod, spoil the child is fair?
No, I think it's abusive.
You think it's abusive?
Yes. Do you think it's
Yeah.
abusive to beat children?
Well, I think when you use the word beat, I think it automatically implies abuse. But I think
Would you right now, do you have children?
yes,
Would you pick up a rod and beat and hit your child with that rod?
a belt.
I said a rod.
Well, did they have belts then? They didn't wear pants.
I don't know why you're changing this to belt. I'm asking
Well,
you if
because
you would pick
I'm
up a
saying like
rod.
because times are different, right? Is pick up something to use in a disciplinary manner.
Okay. Are fine.
I think
Would
that
you take a
I
belt?
just use the word. Yes, yes.
Yes, you would beat your children with a belt.
I would discipline them with a belt.
Okay, what's the difference between beating and disciplining?
Well, I think a beating is overboard.
What would constitute as a beating for you? Like what is the limit on how many whips?
I don't think there's a limit necessarily on
Oh
how
my
many.
god, what the fuck? Where's
Well,
CPS?
I think you, it's about how much force you use, right? If you don't
Oh,
use a lot of force, you can tat them 100 times. If you use a
what
lot of
the
force, you might
fuck?
only be able to do it twice,
Would
right? So
hold on. I have to hold on. This is a very special case. I normally don't allow another person up here, but my friend here, Chad, is coming up here because he has direct experience with this situation. Hey there, Chad. How you doing?
Hi guys. Did I hear something about beating a child is not abuse, and
Oh,
also like
you did
somehow
not.
there's
You did
no
not.
limit to how much you can beat a child? Because I am here as a living testament. I had that happen to me,
You did
and I
not.
had that verse quoted at me a lot.
You did not.
Yeah, I did.
oh,
No, you
Aaron,
didn't.
excuse me. Excuse this is Chad Harris, and he's testified like on camera and like everything like that to these kinds of abuses. So you don't get to sit there and tell him that he did not experience the beating that was given to him.
I never said that he didn't experience the beating that was given to him. What I said is he didn't hear specifically from me that it's okay to beat your child.
I just did. You just said
No,
that there was no
you didn't.
limit to,
Right.
yeah. If you hit him with a belt
Right.
or if you hit him with a rod, you knave, it doesn't matter. You're hitting your child. That child relies on you for safety. You are teaching them that you are not a safe person. You are causing them harm. The
That's
Bible is a book of
that's
abuse.
under the
Hey, shut
assumption
up.
that
I'm talking. The
hold
Bible
on,
is a
allow me
book
to
of
shut up.
abuse.
That's under the
It,
assumption
it
that
tells
you're hitting him
people
with
to
force.
beat their slaves. It tells people to beat their children. And I am a person who was beaten to the point where I could not register an emotional response because people quoted that verse to me in the name of Jesus and the name of God. Now say whatever shit you want to say.
All right, Aaron, I invited you to unmute now.
Go ahead,
Uh,
tell me how it's not abuse. I'm ready for it.
Well, that's under the assumption that I'm using force to hit.
Okay. So it's just a light love tap, right?
Well,
Come
if
on,
you,
come
well,
on, dude.
specifically
Oh,
to the
you're
100
you
times,
are so
right?
cooked right now. Woo.
No. So first of all, I've never hit my child 100 times,
hold
and
on, you just said that you discipline your child with the belt.
but I never
That's
said I hit
hitting.
him 100 times, and I never
What do you
said
do?
that.
Do you just cinch up the belt really tight?
Oh my goodness.
Do you do that thing where you get the belt and you crack the belt and it's like kind of thing, and as a way to further torture them?
Ooh, this guy's crab walking backwards.
You mean like where you put the end by the buckle and pop pop?
Yeah.
No, I don't only do that if I see your boy in real life.
Let me
Right?
ask you this.
What?
Do you take a belt or any other implement,
Uh-huh.
flexible or not, and do you apply it to a particular part of your child's body in a swinging motion?
In a swinging motion. I would say when that needs to be done, it gets done.
That's abuse, and you're a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you probably have children that will blow up your school because they can't handle
Oh
their
my
emotions
God, what the fuck? So you're
What a
trying, are you,
fucking
because
parenting
you're
book.
spoiling the
Jesus
child.
Christ, are you seriously sitting there trying to make the argument that the reason why mass events happen at schools is because those kids weren't beat enough as a child?
I can
I will
vouch a
say,
lot of the
I will
ones
say,
that I knew
let
who
me ask
grew
you
up to be
this.
violent people got beat a lot.
Well, I never said beat them a lot, right? But
You did say that you beat kids. That's all you need to say to, to tell me what I
so
need to know
if I
about
say
you.
I beat kids, then it's safe to assume I beat them a lot.
I don't think that it
No.
matters whether or not
Give
you
me
beat them a
the
lot. Like
Well,
even one time is too much.
okay. How old are you?
What
old
is
enough to know better than you, apparently.
Did y'all get paddled in school?
I mean, I disagreed with it then and I disagree with it now. Like that's abuse. I have witnessed that in school. I act a kid that was most likely on the spectrum. I recognize that now, and he definitely shouldn't have gotten it. But
I may have been muted, so I'll drop out. But yeah, just wanted to
okay.
interject there. Thanks.
Thank you, Chad, for coming up.
Yeah, you go.
But no, I was. Do you want me to drop you down, Chad?
Yeah, I forgot how to do it. My bad.
No, that's fine. I got you. Yeah, I've witnessed a kid getting hit with the paddle. That was abuse then.
Uh-huh.
It was wrong then. Even one time striking a child is bad and wrong. So if spare the rod, spoil the child is part of your understanding of Christian morality, that's definitely doing more harm than good.
So spare the rod, spoil the child is not my understanding of Christian morality. Because to be honest with you, I didn't know that was in the Bible.
Oh, okay. So I mean, but it still has roots in Christianity, whether or not you knew it. That stems from Christianity. That's part of Christian morals.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this: since I brought up school shootings earlier, would you say that there are more or less school shootings after paddling became no longer liable in the school system?
Well, I mean, I think that particular thing is
More or less.
well, it would obviously be more, but that's your focus. You're hyper focusing. You're cherry picking information. No. Hold on. Hold on. Shut.
I'm actually about to give you.
No. Hold on. I just got to mute you because this is cherry picking information right here. Right. So this is a correlation does not equal causation type of fallacy. And what that means is that just because there are more shootings after school whippings stopped does not mean that the lack of school whippings caused more mass unalivings at schools. Right. So that's actually a very complex topic to actually have a discussion on that involves not only the dynamics in the home and how Christian morality plays into that particular aspect to those that would do those offenses, but also the availability of weapons that would allow them to commit and perpetrate those particular actions. There's also a radical shift in our socio-political atmosphere that contributes to that kind of behavior. So it's not just this one thing. And I just needed to contextualize that for the benefit of my audience, but also just to combat where I felt like you were going. So I'm going to invite you to unmute now.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll let you continue now.
Oh, I felt like your last sentence was incomplete. So anyway, the correlation and causation thing, I think is a fair sentiment to have, right? But you cannot prove it either way, right? You brought up
No. I can prove it, but by the people that are generally the people that do those kinds of activities. Sorry, I'm trying to be TikTok safe here. That participate in those kind of activities there where they unalive mass numbers of people at school. They were generally either bullied or they were mistreated at home or some combination of those two things. That promotes a violent personality. It causes people to be violent, and it's definitely not the solution.
Well, I agree, but
Let me ask you this there, Aaron, if I can, real quick.
Don't know how to take an ass whipping. Everybody should know how to take an ass whipping, whether it's from your parents or your neighbors.
So let me ask you something there, Aaron. If you do something that I don't like, and I come over there and I slap you like the little bitch you are, what's your response going to be?
Well, I'm not a little bitch.
Right. But you did something that I disagree with, or I think that you shouldn't do. So I'm going to come over there and slap you like a little bitch. What are you going to do?
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to duke it out.
Okay. Then what does it mean for you to do the exact same thing to a child that cannot duke it out with you, or that you prevent from duking it out with you? How is that fucking fair? How is that fair to that child?
It's not the same, because at some point that child is going to be able to.
It is exactly the same thing. I'm just disciplining your ass. If I see you hit a child, I'll come over there and slap you like the little bitch that you are.
It's because you do, or I do something to you that you don't like. If we're on level playing fields, that doesn't make you disciplined.
So you admit that it's not a level playing field with a child.
Do I admit that it's not a level playing field with a child?
Right.
No, because I'm the adult.
Right. So you're the adult. They're the child. You should be able to emotionally regulate and also be able to teach your child what to do and what not to do, and to discipline your child without having to beat them.
Yeah, well, that there are alternatives. What I'm telling you is that just because you do engage in disciplining your child physically doesn't make it immoral.
It is definitely immoral.
It's not, because
is it immoral for me to slap you like a little bitch?
Here's what you're teaching them.
Is it immoral for me to slap you like a little bitch?
You're teaching them that there are consequences that can become physical.
Right? I'm just teaching you the exact same fucking thing.
You're not, because to be honest with you, me and you squared up, then you probably wouldn't have no teeth left. And if me and you were to square, you definitely wouldn't throw.
My question is, how many teeth do your children have left?
All of them. Every one that they've.
I don't know about that. It kind of seems like,
Yeah, I mean.
It seems like you'd give them that ass whooping you're talking about, huh?
It's easy to try to take the words that have matriculated and contort them into a message that's just not reality, right?
How many do you regularly? I don't know how old your kids are, but have you regularly had to beat your children?
My children are disciplined when necessary, right? I don't do it.
I don't think it's ever necessary to discipline your children like that.
Well, and that's a fundamental disagreement, right?
I mean, yeah, I don't think that abusing kids is good. You seem to side with your God in that abusing children is fine.
Well, again, that's not true, because I told you that I did not get that from the Bible.
It ultimately comes from the Bible because it was taught to you. Whether or not you knew it was from the Bible or not, it doesn't matter. It still comes from the Bible.
Perfect segue. Just because something is taught that originates from the Bible doesn't mean just because it's taught and your perception is that it originates from the Bible doesn't mean that it's
actually right. I didn't say that it originated from the Bible, but considering, I'm assuming that you live in America, so like that's definitely going to be something taught by the Bible.
Let me ask you this. Thou shalt not kill. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know, but so that's a complex conversation to have, but I know that thou shalt not beat your child is a better one.
Okay. So let's say you got that one. Thou shalt not kill. Is that?
I think that the unalivement of another individual is a complex topic, and I think that you would think that it's a complex topic too.
No, I don't. I think it's simple.
If someone breaks into your house with the intent to grape your wife, would you unalive them? I mean, like if it came down to it, like if he came in there.
I think I would definitely take action if the unalivement was a consequence of the action. Then that's unfortunate. It's not going to be my intent.
But right? but you're saying thou shalt not kill. So like you break a commandment of God, right?
Well, accidents happen.
Accidents happen?
Yeah, because the commandment is about intent. It's not about result. right? If you get in
Okay.
a car and drive your car and you get into a car accident, you're completely sober, you followed all the rules, but somebody ran into you and then they die and you survived, would you consider that killing them?
I sorry, can you repeat that? I was
If
messaging somebody.
if you get into a car accident,
Right.
you're sober,
Okay.
right? Everything's well. They die, you survive. Did you kill them?
Right. No, I mean that would be technically manslaughter, but I mean I don't think that you had the intent to unalive them. But
And that's what I'm saying about intent, right? That directly speaks to what I was just talking about.
okay. Well, you see, typically here in America, people always chomp at the bit to unalive someone when there's just cause and they can't actually go to jail for it. So that's kind of where I was going with that. But if you adhere to that completely, that's fine. We're still on the point that spare the rod, spoil your child is a major detriment on human society and is therefore making that makes Christianity do more harm than good.
So, like I said, like we fundamentally just disagree on that, right? We can go on and but I said, okay, how about you just have that one? And that's when I brought up the killing, right? About thou
Okay,
shalt not kill.
I understand
Right,
that, Aaron. Maybe we can have this discussion some other time. It sounds like you're getting in a car to drive somewhere, and I've got to go too. My wife is about to be home.
Thou shalt not steal.
Again, I think that that's an incredibly nuanced conversation to have, and
What
it's
about thou
not.
shalt not steal? Under what circumstances should you be able to steal?
I wouldn't fault
robbing
somebody for stealing like bread or food or something like that. Like I think that it's incredibly nuanced as far as stealing goes. So like, yeah.
What's another commandment? You said the 10th one you don't agree with. What's the 10th commandment?
Don't covet your neighbor's property, which includes women.
And you don't agree with that.
I don't agree that women are property.
Would you consider your own property?
No, I do not consider myself my own property. That seems weird. Okay, Aaron, this was
Would you say that godless? I don't know what you're godless in something.
Engineer.
It's cut off. I'm asking because so in the context of them being one, her property is your property.
Yeah, but that's not what the 10th commandment means. I'm sorry, you're driving. I'm going to have to drop you. I hope, Aaron, that you'll come back another time and maybe we can continue the most disgusting conversation besides the graping of women conversation that I have on here sometimes. I totally appreciate everybody joining up today. Yeah, Chad in the chat there, Arc Radish. Also, just FYI, I'm fine, y'all. Much better after calling out that abuse. Yeah, totally. Well, that Aaron guy, he definitely is a giant fucking red flag, isn't he? I feel like if you encounter anybody that's gonna be an apologist for child abuse, you should just stay the fuck away from that person. Thank you so much to Chad Harris or Arch Radish here on both YouTube and on TikTok for joining in and really adding a much needed perspective to this conversation. I will have Chad's links down below in the description, so definitely hit him up down there. And hey, while you're down there, why don't you leave me a comment with what you thought about this conversation? And if you got a second, there's a video up here on the screen. Definitely hit up that video. Check it out for a little bit. It would really help us out here at the channel. And as always, don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens.